like I did NVIDIA and I got in out to next summer. So I'm not really worried about that because I knew they might do something crazy. So I just went long. And then all of the shares that I got, I bought those shares on the dips. And so all of those shares are green. All of those shares are green. So that's one thing that we have to do too if we're going to be successful during this crazy season of the tariffs. We really got to watch our accounts, watch out for drawdowns. Drawdowns, we're getting ready to trigger a buy on the SPX, which looks good. But watch out for drawdowns. Anytime you have a lot of green, like if you're up, whatever your plan is, normally me, anywhere after 60%, I'm ready to go. If I hit 100%, I'm out. I don't know if y'all was watching the chat the other day, but I was trading, I forget what it was. It started to run. I think it was Palantir. Yeah, no, it was either Palantir or something, but I say I'm taking this money today. I didn't want anybody thinking I was going to be holding a big position through because it had ran up so much. So if you look back through the chat, you'll see that. But the whole reasoning is because of what's going on. Yeah, see, we just triggered a buy. We're trying to trigger a buy. It's what's going on with the tariffs. We don't know what the president's going to do. We don't know what the Supreme Court's going to do. We don't know what anybody's going to do. And so it makes the market very volatile. But one thing that we do know, if we look at NVIDIA, and I'm going to show you this. So we go with what we do know against the unknowns. So let's go to the larger time frames. A lot of times I tell people when you're looking at quality stocks, which NVIDIA would be I give it a AAA rating. You got to zoom out. And then let me see. I saw something last week that I said, man, I got to tell the guys about this and the ladies. Look at this pattern. This pattern appears everywhere in the market right now. It's a what's it called? It's a dragonfly doji. Let me Google that, and I want y'all to see that. Dragonfly doji. I'm going to look that up real quick so you can see it. Dragonfly doji. Image. Let me find the image of it real quick so you can see it. Dragonfly doji. So I'm gonna switch the screen real quick, and I wanted y'all to see that because on the larger time frames, it's appearing everywhere. So this is telling me that they want the market to go up, but not they, but the charts have to play out. So let's look at this. If you look at this pattern, this is what we're seeing on the larger time frames. And it's everywhere. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 more charts, and you'll see it on every one of them. Right here, it's this formation. We have that wick in the bottom, and it's coming up. We sold off, and we're going back up. That's the pattern that we're talking about. See if I can show you another one. This one. Perfect right here. Let me see if I can, this one. I don't know if that's clear. Let me go back. I might be messing that up. Can you guys see this one over here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's this wick with these 2 candles. So you have one bearish candle, one green candle, and it's a shooting star. So now when we go back, that's it's a bullish candle. When you see that, you want to buy. So anytime, here's another one. Dragonfly doji. So when you see that, that's bullish in the market. So if I switch the charts back, I'm going to show you. And you can write that down and just look it up on your own. But I want to show you NVIDIA. You're going to see this pattern, and I'm going to go through. Even though it might have pulled back, we're in that type of a pattern right now. So this is that pattern.
So Anthony,
Yes, sir.
in order for it to be considered a dragonfly, that bottom wick has to be very long. That's what's
Yeah,
making it a dragonfly
yeah.
pattern.
It's when you get, well, it's a bearish
Right.
sentiment coming into that wick. So basically, we were going down, and to make it the dragonfly, it's that large wick with the shooting star,
I got
showing
you.
that we were bearish because you have a high, lower low, and then you sold off, and then boom, it shoots back up, and then the next candle is all bullish. It's all going back up. So when you see this pattern, it's a bullish pattern simply because the dragonfly doji, what initiates it is that wick. That's everybody that was selling now buying all the way back up to here. And then the next candle opens up green. So look at this. I think it's on Tesla. Similar pattern with the double bottom. I'm pretty sure it's on the SPY. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? I was looking through the charts the other day. Look at this. We bottomed out. This is bullish. This is telling me we're going up. So sometimes we have to zoom out to really get an idea of what's really going on. Look at Palantir. Palantir, like, man, I ain't got no dragonfly doji. I'm just bullish. I just run this thing. I'm the #1 traded stock last year. I don't need all that recovery type stuff. All I've been is up. Palantir, his model said, all I do is win.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, it's just, I mean, it's going there. But a lot of the stocks that sold off are now in that dramatic. I think you should see it on the Qs too. Yep. See, look, QQQs, triple Qs.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, we're going up. We're going up. And the way they're doing it is kind of tricky because now we're approaching all-time highs, which take us back on the Qs to roughly 538 or so, maybe higher. No, 538. When was that? February. And we keep getting all this news. It's the same thing on the SPX. Look at that. Same pattern, SPX. So we're trying to get back here, 51.51, but we keep getting news. But when you're looking on the smaller time frames, it looks really, really bad. But look at the pullback on the larger time frame. Not that bad. So when you zoom out and look at these, you're like, man, I should be buying. I should be buying, and then I should be holding long or going long. And then if it continues to pull back, maybe short it until it turns around. Because look at NVIDIA. Same pattern. And look at where we are. We're just a few. I mean, all-time highs is 153. We're closer than we've ever been. So this week, I'm looking for a retracement. Y'all want to see something crazy? When we were talking on Tuesday, I told y'all I wrote down the highs for the week, and we almost hit the highs that I put in there. I wrote down, and in the chart, the highs I put, we're just a few inches off. If I zoom in, we missed it by just, it was 143.54, and we almost got there. I hit that. I just saw that in the chart last week, but literally it was so accurate. I missed it by a few cents. And if we could have broke those highs, that's what was going to take us on to that 150 level or better. And I think this week, I think they're going to go ahead and take us there. So don't be mad if you're in NVIDIA or in anything and you took profit. Just get ready to trade what's in front of you. You know, we can only trade what's in front of us. And then sometimes market go up, market go down. But even with the market going down, look, on the 4 hour, we're still in a buy on NVIDIA. We're still in a buy. It just came down, fill the gap, and gap fills are healthy. Let's just say this took off and just kept going. What are we going to do with all these gaps down here? At some point, these gaps need to get filled. So honestly, I'm a little excited that it pulled back, filled the gap. We landed on support at 130, 133.58. I think we went a little bit lower than that. I put my line here yesterday. Yeah, we actually landed on 132.93, which is one of the most traded zones in NVIDIA in the last few months. And then I put this line right here. I was like, well, why did they bounce us there? The reason they bounced us there, this line right here, this 132.69, that's almost back to an entire gap fill. So they brought us like 90% of the way just to right here to this wick. We would have had a total gap fill on NVIDIA with the wick. And so they dropped us and then boom, just took us off. But if you look, we're in a really good position to take off. Really good position. So I'm long all the way out till next June, and the contracts are still green. So the other thing we want to master too is our entries. Because if you get a good entry, a good entry is better than a great contract, if you ask me. I might have a contract that's further out the money, but a great entry, and even with a pullback, look at this. This is the slingshot being pulled back. This is not bad. So let's not get it twisted. Look at this chart. We found support, or we found a bottom. We had a lower low way over here at 75. This was 2024. We found a higher low, August. We came up, came back down, January, all the way down in March, and then we bounced. And now we're all the way up here with great earnings. Man, I'm excited. Great earnings. And we literally just pulled back. People just sold. And it's news driven. It's news driven. So something like that could be an overcorrection, but I'm looking for a retest of these highs. At least bull flag. I would say this is the weekly. We're starting a new week. I would look for NVIDIA to retest at 143.28, and I want to see a break of these two candles here, 148.70. So let me move my line for the week right here. I want to see if we break, write it down if you got a pen or on your phone. If you see NVIDIA this week break 148, let me zoom it in so I can be right on it. Yep. 148.57. We're headed to 153. If we break this, we're not coming back. This will become the new support, just like on Bitcoin now. The floor is like around 102, 103. It's not breaking. Really, that 100,000 now is the floor. They're loading up. Even though it pulled back from 112, it's just coming back like a slingshot to take off. So be aware of that. And the only thing that's affecting everything is the news. So I'm looking for a break on NVIDIA this week, 148.51. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday, but when we break 148, 148 looks like 59. Let me zoom in because I want that to be, you'll be close. Let me get right on that candle. Oh, yeah, I'm below it. Right there. Really, let's say this one. 148.67. We break that, and these wicks will not matter. The Twin Towers right here will be taken out. Once we take those out and pass all-time highs, it's a wrap. If we break 148 and get above this 152, the TPs are already showing us where they, remember I kept wondering, how are we gonna get that 184, but that's on the weekly. So it could be mid-June, late June, but this is the next level that they're looking at. And if you remember last week for earnings, everybody, new price target 180, new price target 180. So I think they're going to give us a big move up on NVIDIA. and it's going to happen really, really quickly because a lot of people bought last week. And even though it was coming down, I was buying, everybody was buying. So the other thing that we want to think about, and we might not spend a lot of time on a lot of the stuff tonight, y'all, AI is not taking over, it's taken over. So a lot of jobs are about to be obsolete. You got to be thinking 5, 10, 15 years from now. Where do we think NVIDIA is going to be? Man, NVIDIA will probably be $2,500. This thing will probably be, and I don't think they're going to do any more splits, because when these companies, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Apple, all these companies, Microsoft with their Google, when they're fully running the way that things are going to run by 2030 with the artificial intelligence, man, we're going to look back on these times and be like, man, I should have bought more. Because I'm telling you, Google at 171, under 200, I'm buying. These stocks, once they go back up, I think didn't Google used to be like before the split, it was like $2,500 a share? That's where they're going to take it back to. Once it goes back then, it's not coming back. So imagine now, artificial intelligence is just getting started. We're at the beginning of it. I mean, just think down the road, 2040, 2035, where these stocks will be and how artificial intelligence will be running the world. You could buy, let's just say, 25 shares of Google, $4,000, $4,042.75. You go and look down the future and you got, how many shares did I say?
I think you said 25. Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
25. So then you come back now and that same 25 is 3,500. That's $87,000. That's how people get rich and become very, very well off and retired in the market, because they're forward looking and forward thinking. So you have to be thinking now, what's the next big thing? You know, Google now has that VO3, I think it is. We're never going to know what's real again on the internet. Literally, they're showing images. It looks like people are sweating. It comes with voice. I mean, marketing companies are about to be closing. It's $250 a month. It does everything. So we got to be thinking that way. Amazon, trucks ain't never getting ready to stop. They're getting ready to add the helicopters, and they're getting ready to add the drones. And so as we're looking at NVIDIA, Google, all of these stocks that are related with artificial intelligence, even OpenAI, dollar cost average in as much as you can, because I'm telling you, we're going to look back in just a few years and we're going to be like, man, I remember that stock was like $100. I remember it was $99. And that's all you'll have is a memory. That's like me now with Palantir. Oh man, I remember it was $9. Well, good luck with that. So let's not take this for granted, you know, and worry so much about the options. But as you're making your moves and seeing success, don't forget to transfer some of that over to the actual shares, so you'll have something for later. I'm looking for that break of the all-time highs this week, next week, that 152 with the break of that 145 area, somewhere in there. And I'm looking for that to run, because if they're going to continue to push the market up, and let's see where we are now. Let me zoom back in. 5 minute. The president doesn't want the market to go down. He keeps doing things to try and take it up. We're still back down. June 1st, Sunday night. We're trying to bull flag, but the flag is going to touch the ground, looks like. Looks like we might. They keep trying to take it up. We're finding resistance. Oh, we almost closed that gap. I wonder what they consider this the gap fill or this the gap. No, it would have to be up here. Yeah, it would have to be up here. I'm looking at the wrong candle. It would be 5903 is what we want to see. 5903. So we need to move up. Oh, and they're already telling us, look right here. The entry to the upside, we don't even have to make it hard. Just use the software. It's 59.0615. So if you see a break of that, then you know that you're cool to trade it back up. And this is on the 5 minute. So we'll keep an eye on that. It doesn't want to break that low where we wick down at, which is good. So I think we're going to get a move up tomorrow. I think we're going to close this gap and we're going to get a move up. Let's look also. The yields are coming down, so that's good. Finally, let's zoom in on that real quick. So if you see the market coming down and you're wondering why the market is coming down, it's because these yields have been hitting up in the fives. If we get these yields, the 30-year yield over 5%, over $5, the market just crashes. Now we're getting a reduction in the yield. So if we can get that's another thing that lets me know that the market's probably going to run tomorrow. If this is coming down like this, look, it's in a sell-off. It's coming down. If we can get that back down to like these lows, back down to like 4.91, that would be really, really good. And they got TP1 at 490. That would be awesome. If you see this in the morning down at 490, you know you could trade the market up. The dollar, let me see, what's the dollar? The market and the dollar, what is the huge inverse? We're never supposed to do this, but the market and the dollar have been going the same way for a minute now. And the dollar found support at 99.3. So looks like it's going to close the gap at 99.4 or better. So that lets me know that the market might go back up too. So that looks good, back up to the upside. Palantir, I don't know if anybody got in on Friday, but I got in. I took all that money and got out, and I left one runner. Palantir came down, went up, and went back up. And it was a crazy move. This was Friday. I want to say, is Damon on here? He shared some news. Let me see if I see it. Palantir rallies. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. Palantir rallies on an AI deal with Fannie Mae to fight mortgage fraud. That was 2 days ago. And right when that news came out, it just took off. It literally took off. And so if you were trading Palantir, this was at 1548. Look at that. They sent the news out after they flushed everybody out of the market. They knew this. Look, they already knew this news. You didn't not just get this news at the end of the day. They knew that this news was coming out. But look at how they played the market. The market opened. Where is it at? I want to show you that flush. Friday. Crazy move on Palantir. Yep, here we go. Market opens right here. This is a traditional, just a flush. Oh man, if you had time and you were watching the market on Friday and you could just sit there, which I couldn't. Oh my gosh, look at this on the 3 minute. Like if you could have just stayed dialed in. Oh my gosh. So let's look at this. Hopefully this will bless somebody. So the market opened up, and these are the patterns that we've been talking about since January. The market opens up right here, 9:30. Boom, market gaps up. Market runs up. If you're trading this in options or you just grab 100 shares, 1,000 shares, whatever, right here we get a double top. So this is on the 3 minute. We're above the 200. We get a double top. Starts to sell off. And you're thinking, well, it didn't break the low. It breaks the low. And you're like, well, we're just going to do a gap fill. So I want you to be thinking that if there's a gap, always be looking for the gap and go. And that's exactly what they did. They did a gap and go. And so we came right back to the gap. Look right there. Boom, hit that wick. These wicks almost touch. And they took off. They took off. We triggered a buy, and it ran from 10 a.m. all the way up until 11 o'clock. You literally could have made money on that in a call. And I think that's when I got in. I literally ran it. And then I had somewhere to go. When it turned, I got out. I didn't think, yes, sir.
Last week when that Palantir was going up like that, I had noticed it. Was there any news report or something that had happened that I missed that would have caused it to run so quickly, so high?
Yeah, they partnered. Looks like they're going to be doing something with Fannie Mae.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, they've also partnered with some other companies. I was just looking at it. They partnered with Fannie Mae to help combat fraud. And then also Donald Trump hired Palantir to do something. I think it was the Fannie Mae story. But when you look at this, it shot all the way up. And then look at the pattern, though. This is what I want you guys to get. Just like we have the Dragonfly Doji, the one on the top, this is called a gravestone doji. So when you see the Dragonfly Doji from the bottom, that means things are going up. When you see that gravestone doji from the top, it's time to get out of Dodge. Let me put that one in. I want to show y'all that too. So when you start seeing these patterns, you're like, man, it's time to get out of Dodge. It's time to get out of Dodge. I'm going to pull it up for you right here so you can see it. Yep, here we go. Let me share the screen. And if nothing else, we're going to be better chart readers and have better entries the rest of this year. Here we go. This is the pattern. So the market is running. And then you see it top and then that quick wick. It's time to go. So when you see that, momentum has shifted. Momentum is no longer to the upside. And then if you're not sure, when you see that first red candle come in there and you see things begin to sell off, you might not be totally 100% sure. When you see this, you should be. I mean, that's the flushing of the toilet. That's it's out the door. Money's gone. They're taking people. This is all people losing money. Whee, boom, and they hit a level of support, and then look, it's a quick wick up and down, up and down and down, and just a lower low. So that's called a gravestone doji. We saw the Dragonfly doji takes it up. It's what we're in large time, in a large time frame on the Qs, the SPX, NVIDIA, I think Tesla. We're all in that pattern. But when you see this pattern, this is what was going on Palantir. So if you were paying attention the other day and you were charting this and you saw that, I'm going to go back to the chart. You could have ran that bad boy up. And I think I might even show you on a augmented trade. We can replay it. But you could have ran it up and then look, take it all the way down. All the way down. Good Lord. So you could have taken it up for an hour to 11. And then here, right on the sell, 11:18, all the way down to 1:30. I mean, there's nothing about this that tells me it's coming back. And it almost came back down to where we took off at. 122.70. We came back down. Let me zoom that in. Yeah, 122.31. But then we triggered a buy right here at 13.36 and ran some more. I didn't even know this was happening. I looked back on Friday night and I was like, man, Palantir came all the way back. And look at this. So imagine how much money, y'all, changed hands in just this. And this is a roller coaster. This will make you start drinking. People that don't smoke, make them start smoking. I mean, if you trade this and you don't know what you're doing and you got thousands of dollars or millions of dollars and you out here playing and you get in here, oh, it's going up. Oh, I just lost 10,000. Oh, it's coming down. Now it's going back up. Oh, let me get in with 20. I'm gonna get the 10 back. Now it's going up. Oh, I just made 50. Oh, now it's going down. Oh, I just lost the whole 50. Man, I only got 5,000 left out of 100 for the day. Let me jump in. And then boom, you made it all back. After that, you like, I'm going for a walk. And there's a lot of people that trade like that. They're like up and down all day. But if you're reading the charts, I got out right here. I took my money. I left a runner, and that's it. I'm not risking my money no more because the market to me is just it's too iffy. It's too iffy right now. But I do want to show you this real quick, and we'll look. Well, I want to take some questions, but I want to show you. You can replay these stocks. I want to go back before the market opened on Palantir right here. Uh-oh. Come on, right? And I want to show you, even if you just traded the stocks, you don't always have to do an option. So let's say we bought let's say 1,000 shares, because that's like a lot of people trade that many shares during the day. Some people trade more. Buy. So we're going to say with 1,000, that's 100. There it is. Right now, that's 2,000. I'll just say 2,000. This thing's giving me fits. But anyway, so we're going to let it play as if the market is just opening and see. So now you can see that run up on the 3-minute, and you see the money goes negative. You see the money going green again right here. Now we're green again. It should be more money than that. I didn't lose that much. There we go, green. And it got a sell. So this would have been where you would want to be selling at. But now, look, now it's going to drop. But I want to see that run up in the evening. If you just held those all day, what that would be. Now it's green again. And that's why I say this would just have you going crazy. But look, the stocks are up. What is that? 11,000, 10,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000. This is on that drop now. 5,000, still going down, and somebody would be holding like, it's going to come back. It's going to come. And there we go. We got the indicator, but it still came down. You were all the way up 11,000, and boom, we triggered a buy. Up 5,000. And here we go. Here comes the run. So this should end up being about 20 grand. Yep, 10 grand right there. Still got some time left in the day. And this is just what, if with options, this would have been like 100 grand. 13,000, 14,000, a little bit of a sell-off, and then that big green candles at the end should put it at 20 grand. 15. Yep, there's that big green. Yep, 20,000. See that? And that's just, oh man, profit would have been 24,000. So if you had traded that the other day, it says best trade. Yeah, okay. Thank you. But see how you could use these softwares and different things to go back and say, well, man, maybe I need to just get a margin account and just trade the shares. Because even if it pulls back, it's Palantir. But imagine if you did that on Friday with 2,000 shares, you turn, I mean, what is 2,000 shares? Whoa, it's a lot of money. $262,000. But that's kind of how people are trading this. They're trading the market, you know, as a business. They're trading the market for a living. And so this is what's happening. through these ups and downs. Millions of dollars are trading hands. And then look at this pattern now that we see for tomorrow. We got a double top right here. So let's look on the daily, because if we break this top tomorrow or this week, our high was 133.49. We got this big, strong green candle at the end of the day, and the entry to the upside was 130.18. I'm gonna be modest and pull this in the middle. I'm gonna say Palantir. Wow. I'm gonna say 140, 141 this week, 141.47 is what I would be looking for. But look at, I'm just being nice about it, but you can see what the software is saying. 148, basically 150 this week, because once you break all-time highs, you always get a nice run. It's like a horse getting out the pasture and jumping the fence, and he know he's free. He know you're gonna catch him, but he's like, while I've got this open road, I'm gonna run a little bit and see if I can hang with this 18-wheeler on the 429. And he just runs. He just go. He want to see what he can really do. Man, I'm really that fast, and I think this is gonna be really be that fast. Anybody have any questions about Palantir or NVIDIA or the up and downness in the market that we've been dealing with?
I do have a question, if you're able to look at this, Anthony. Like earlier this evening, you mentioned the fact that when you're in a trade and sometimes you see that you're already up 60%, so you won't even go further in the contract, you'll go ahead and close it because you've already made profit. Are you able to show, because I use Thinkorswim, and I know you use that as well. Are you able to show me what it is that you're looking at to determine that, okay, I'm already up 50 or 60% or 80%, I can go ahead and close this contract early?
Well, I was literally I just jumped into contracts on Friday, and I literally just took this run, that initial spurt out the gate. And so when those contracts took off on this first run, I didn't know it was going to come back down, but I knew it was too much money to risk. So sometimes you just want to be protective of your capital, because think about it. If you got in here and you ran it to here and you made $8 grand, would you want to risk that $8 grand over the weekend on a Friday? And Trump being in the office and tariffs and China and Ukraine, all that foolishness.
So you're looking at how much money you've made, and
right.
What? I'm satisfied with that. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
got it.
Here. Yeah, so you never go wrong taking profit. So even on those NVIDIA leaps, when the market started to turn around, man, I took that money. I can always buy some more. So, but I was, like I said, I was up 268%. So you have to say, well, when is enough? Because I know it's going to go up. And if I just sit in it and go long, but the other thing is too, I want you guys to learn the pattern. You win over time. So think about it. Like if you're a professional, and I know you are, and you're working every day, look at the patterns. The pattern basically goes up. And even if the market goes down, Palantir over time, it's just going up. This thing is probably going to be $300 or $400 in just a few years. So imagine if you just say, man, I'm just going to buy 26 and 27. There's no way you're going to lose. Even if the market pulls back, and let's say Palantir came back to 99, because right here where this line is support. And look, this is the 10-day. Or you say, hey, Palantir comes back to 65, I'm loading the boat. But over time, to the upside, you win. But even if you're in out to 2026 and 2027, and you see a big pullback happening, you can say, man, I'm out of here. Y'all can have this. I'm taking my money. So you can always take your money. So what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to get my account back up to, like, I'm trading like 9 accounts, but the one that I trade every day, I want to get it back to 25K, because once I get to 25K, I could do shorts There's a lot of things and then it's unlimited trading. You don't have to worry about only taking a few trades during the day. And so once I get that back there, hopefully I can do it by the end of July, because I'm expecting some big moves. So the other thing, thank God I just thought about it, the bond market, the one thing that can stop all of this and really, really crash things is if we get this 30-year yield way above 5. Let's look on the larger time frame. But to answer your question, if you see green, that's your money. You've sat in the classes since January. You know, nobody can tell you when to take your money. So I want you guys to manage your accounts. You know, try not to have drawdowns. Because if you're up, let's say 40%, and that might be, if you got 20 contracts, you don't need a big move. So let's say you got 20 contracts, Palantir moves 40%, man, you're sitting nice. So you don't need a big move, but if you see it start to pull back, man, take half, you know, take 3/4, you know, and secure some capital, or at least lock in your profit with a stop loss. You might say, well, I know it's going higher. I don't want to sell, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my stop loss. I got 40 contracts, let's say. I'm going to set my stop loss on 30. So if it does pull back, I'll get that money out. I'll still have 10 in, so I can still enjoy the move with 10, and I can find another play or re-enter at a different level later. So you can always lock in profit or just close some contracts. I'm in Nike out to 2027. I'm in NVIDIA out to 2027. I'm in Lyft till September, I think. I'm trading Starbucks out like a year because I know it's going back. I know it's done it every time. It's going right back to 100. It's just a pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up. And stop missing that. And so I just gave myself more time. But if I get up in profit and crazy things are happening in the market, I can get out at any moment. But let's not forget, let me see if I could find the article. The Japanese own 50% of our bond market. And if they start to sell those bonds, it will literally crash our market. I mean, like crash our market. Last time that happened, the market fell very, very fast. I mean, fast. And so if something like that starts happening, you got to get out of what you're in, because you don't know when it will bottom out with them owning 50% of our market. So keep an eye on that. If you hear in the news that the market is crashing out, or Japan has started selling their bonds, it's better to have, you know, your money in your pocket than risking it at any moment right now, because things are crazy. And so you just want to be, you know, aware of what's going on. Let me zoom this in. Yeah, it says the Bank of Japan holds over 50% of all the Japanese government bonds. High level ownership of largely due to the BOJ's extensive quantitative easing program aimed at stimulating the Japanese economy. What they did was they took those bonds, they sold them, and then they bought American bonds. They own 50% of the American bond market, and they bought it almost at a 0%. So now that the market is going up, they're in profit. And so at any moment, they could sell those. And by them selling those, with our market being at such a high interest rate and us having a liquidity issue, we don't have the money to repay them. So it would literally crash our market if Japan and China offloaded those bonds. And so that's a problem right now. So let's, man, pray that that does not happen. Because if that happens, we're going to see the market at some low levels. We're We're going to see the market at some really, really low levels that we hadn't seen. So I think that's really one of the only things other than this tariff business that could really affect the market in a bad way right now. So if we keep our eyes on what's going on with the bond market and what's going on with the tariffs, I think we'll be okay. Let me see. Anybody have any more questions before we hit 7? That was a great question, Wisner.
I have one last quick question. I'm sorry, fellas. One quick question.
Oh, no. Questions are good.
You had mentioned the fact that a couple of years back, when Palantir was like $19 or something, you had the foresight to purchase those things. Today, is there any particular company or stock that you're looking at in the $10 to $20 range that you think could possibly skyrocket like a Palantir?
Right now, I'm looking at the quantum stocks, and I'm actually looking at Nike to recover.
Okay.
Because it's been beat down. What happened with Nike, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware. They took their shoes out of a lot of the stores, and they were trying to sell them online. So imagine you got a bunch of stores, and I say, hey, Wisner, hey, man, I'm going to put my Nikes in your stores, and we'll profit share. I'll give you 10% of every shoe that sells, and you give me the 90, and we're good, because it's going to be billions of dollars. When Nike got greedy, and they were like, you know what? We'll sell our own shoes, and we'll do them online. And when we have these different specialty shoes come out, you'll only be able to get them online. Mm-hmm. And so when they started doing that, COVID hit, all these different things. One thing led to another, and they crashed. Well, they didn't really crash out, but they came down. And so now they're going to recover. They got a new CEO. They got a new guy that's in charge, and he's already said that he has a recovery plan for Nike. They're going to get the shoes back in the stores. I think it's Foot Locker. They weren't carrying them. Some of these different stores, wherever it was, they're going to be putting the shoes back there. And so I see them recovering quicker. And then looking right here, it says Nike's Amazon expansion could signal a turnaround. I didn't even see this in 2025, but I've been following the news. I know they're saying they were talking about putting Nikes in Walmart, man.
Oh, wow.
So think about that. If you can get a Nike everywhere you can get a shoe, you can't get Nikes at Walmart.
Mm-mm.
So I'm already in position for when it takes off. So I'm looking at Nike. I always been involved in Starbucks, but QBTS, I think these quantum stocks, these companies are not profitable yet, but I think in the future they're going to do very, very well. When I first started buying Palantir, it wasn't profitable. And people's like, oh, man, you crazy. That company, they ain't even making no money. But they're making money now. So, yeah, I'm looking at QBTS, the quantum. They just had a conference, and I'll have to find the video, but they're talking about being able to teleport in the future. The quantum. You remember there was a show called Quantum Leap?
I remember that show.
This, man, they done showed us all this stuff on TV. They've been had this technology.
I know. I gotta see that to believe that. Teleporting people.
Yeah, that's what they talking about it.
Wow.
And one guy said we can already do it. So he was saying even though the quantum stocks might not be where they want them to be now, think of where these are going to be in the future, especially if you start doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other one is Archer. Archer is going to be where's it? Right. Yeah, they're going to be at the 2028 Olympics, and they're the first flying cars. So, I mean, in the future, you really won't be driving a car. You just get in the car. Where would you like to go, Mr. Gladney? Welcome. The temperature is 300 degrees outside. Do you have your thermal energy suit on? I do. You're ready to travel. Take me to Wisner's house. Looking up Wisner in your database. Navigating now. Travel time, 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Wow.
Boom. That's all you're going to do. You're going to talk to the car, tell the car where you want to go. It'll be they're talking about bracelets on your arm. The bracelet will have all of your medical medicines, your family history, your wife, your phone, everything. You swipe it, you hit it, you have your meta glasses on,
Right.
it's a hologram in the air. Everybody's just gonna be doing this number. We can't see what you swiping, but all your stuff is right there in front of you. So this is where we're headed. Everything is gonna be techie. So I'm always looking and researching, trying to be in front of it. But I think Archer, QBTS, Rigetti, all of the tech stocks I think are going to do very well because, I mean, we're so tech heavy in the world. Like my kids and your kids, they've never not known tech.
Right.
I grew up when the TV was as big as a Toyota, a Datsun. Right. I mean, you had the rabbit ears. They don't even know what a rabbit ears is. They've never seen that. All they know is I got a cell phone. We were around before Wi-Fi, but think about now if the Wi-Fi goes out, what that does.
Yeah.
Think about if the internet goes down, how dramatic that is. So I think having as much tech as we can have, having as much the futuristic stocks, and then I'm looking to, I'll get the list, but Jensen Hong, he talked down about the quantum stocks a few months back, and they all dropped, and then he bought up a bunch. He's like, oh, I didn't know it would drop if I said, you know, they couldn't do what they said they could do, but I know they're going to do it in the future. And then he bought it up. Wow. And so, yeah, those are the ones that I'm kind of looking at now. Another good stock, where is it on my watch list? It was something I was going to tell you guys about. It's not the nuclear, wasn't Dollar General. It might be on another list. No. See, there was something else I wanted to tell y'all. But Tesla too. Tesla's going back to the $1,000, $1,500 range. So the more Tesla you can own, I mean, it's just going to be good for you. Any of these in the top of this list, I mean, life will be good in the future. Honestly, QQQs, Palantir, NVIDIA, Tesla, Boeing, even after all the crazy stuff that happened with the airlines, Coin for sure. So think about this. They got a tech convention getting ready to go on out in Las Vegas. The president, I don't know if the crypto czar is going to be there, but they said right now, less than 17% of America owns crypto. So think about that. Coinbase is where everybody parks their crypto. If less than 17% of the country owns crypto and Bitcoin, think about where these numbers are going to go when everybody else is forced to buy, because we're going digital. They're already doing it. Every time you look now, it's a QR code. You know, a few years ago, you didn't know what a QR code was. So if we think where things are headed and how things are going to be, we can get in front of it. Like I have to post a video, but in China, there is no cash. Seoul, Korea, there is no cash. Everything you do, it's a QR code. They don't even have money. So now they're using cryptocurrency. They're using Bitcoin. They're using coins and QRF codes. And so figure out where those are being held and how to spend those. You know, I think coin's going to be, man, let me see, what do they have on here over the quarter? But I think coin's going to be in the thousands of dollars, because after people start utilizing it and really understanding that, oh, I need crypto. Well, how can I get crypto? Well, I need a crypto wallet. Well, I need Coinbase. You know, they're going to have it. It's not like something that's going to be optional, because you got to, I mean, if you can buy a car with Bitcoin and everybody's using Bitcoin, everybody's using XRP, everybody using crypto, well, where do you put your crypto? Either in your crypto wallet or Coinbase or Webull or somewhere like that, and then you can spend it. So I would look for like anything crypto related. And there's a guy, man, he's really, really good at crypto. I'm gonna have to have him come on here. what's his name? He was with Cheat Code when I was with Cheat Code, but I'm gonna have to get his name and get him on. But he's literally all he trades is crypto. He's worth millions. That's all he trades, and he got in years ago when it was like worth nothing. But to answer your question, I'm looking at Nike, because think about it, Michael Jordan, one of the most recognizable faces in the world, comes out with a shoe every year. Kobe's gone, comes out with a shoe every year. LeBron James, those are all Nikes. Most of your brands, the playoffs are starting. They're wearing Nikes. All these colleges sponsored by Nike. And so that's why I'm a Nike fan. And then Starbucks. They're opening up Starbucks everywhere you can look. It might be down now, but I would imagine over the next few years, 2030, 2035, Starbucks probably be $150, $200 stock easily. And I don't know what their all-time highs were, but I'm just trying to think of things that are down now that I can just buy as much as I can while it's down, knowing that it's gonna come up. Let me see, what was the highs? All-time highs on Starbucks was, looks like 115. So a break of 115, I mean, we run to 125, 130, but look how close we are to that now. So I don't want to get to 115 and be like, oh man, it's at all-time highs, I'm gonna get it here. No, I want to buy it at these lows. I want to buy it at these dips and just be continually loading up. Because think about the people that got in over here, $36, and people were laughing at them, and it was pulling back, and it was going up, and it was pulling back. And the people that got in over here, I mean, good Lord, when was this? I mean, at one time it was $4. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. So those are the moves I'm looking for. I'm looking for things that I see every day. I'm looking for name brands that I see every day that I know that people enjoy, that are not going anywhere, that are staples. Every time I go to VA, they got Starbucks there. No matter where I go, I see Starbucks. I own Nikes. Everybody I see has a pair of Nikes. The future is all going to be run by artificial intelligence. So every paycheck, I'm buying Palantir because it's artificial intelligence. And even if you can't afford the whole stock, I'll put my Webull link in the chat. Man, buy the fractional shares. Buy the fractional shares. You'd be surprised in the future if you just do $25 of NVIDIA every week. Every week. Because, I mean, that's like getting a McDonald's now. By the time you get a McDonald's, you get a number 7, you biggie size it, and you're at like $20 now on fast food. So if you just like, I'm going to fast and I'm going to put that in NVIDIA, fractional shares. And you do that every week for the rest of this year, oh man, come on. So, because I'm telling you, when we look back just a few, I mean, we're in 2025, so we're only talking 5 years. When we look back 5 years from now and look at some of these videos, because everything is recorded, we're going to be like, man, you said it. But it's not even like a prophecy. It's just looking at the charts and seeing where the world is going. And a lot of people are getting ready to lose employment. And so this is the other thing that we have to be thinking too. I've got to reinvent myself to where artificial intelligence will not bankrupt me and it will not take my job. Robots are not, Optimus, all these different robots are not going to take my job. I'm going to have some money, some investments, some real estate, something to where I control my destiny and my future. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now is owning as much of the artificial intelligence in the market to where as it goes up, I'm good. Because I really think we got about 5-6 years, 2030 and beyond, this stuff's going to be untouchable, unreachable, unless you buy fractional shares. Intel, I'll put together a list and I'll talk with my cousin. She's really, really good with picks. But I'm definitely Intel, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, NVIDIA, Palantir, Starbucks, Nike, gold. And with gold, you don't have to buy gold in the market. You can literally buy physical gold at Costco. You make a bunch of money in the market, buy some gold bars, put them away. Gold is definitely a part of my plan also. But that's all I have. Anybody have any more questions? No questions? Well, keep your eye on the chat this week. I got a light week working, so I'll probably be doing some pop-up trading floors if anybody's available. And I don't think there's any CPI or nothing like that going on this week, but I'll check. And if it is, I'll put it in the chat. But I think we should have a pretty light week this first week of June. And we'll see what happens. Let's take a look back one last time, see where the SPY is now. See, where did it close at in the hour? What did we do? Yeah, it's looking kind of iffy. This could go either way. We went up and we tried to fill the gap. The gap fill was like right around here, and double bottom, double top. I mean, we'll just have to see tomorrow. We could break down and possibly come back down like 58.69. If we can get through 59.09, the entry for the upside, which I think we will. Let me see, is there any breaking news? Because I don't know why this is pushing down. News from Trump today. Breaking news. Okay, breaking news. Trump administration 3 hours ago. Okay, latest on Trump's tariffs in this. He's still saying something about the tariffs, so that's why this is coming down. This was just 3 hours ago. Yeah, he's still talking about doing 50% tariffs on aluminum, steel, and possibly something else. What? And see, we can't figure this out. What he's gonna say, when he's gonna say it, what he's gonna do. So just be careful. Be careful. Yeah, he's talking about more tariffs. So if he continues this until tomorrow morning, we could get a bigger pullback. If we get more tariff talk, we were going up and it came down, we could probably, let me give you the down scenario and we'll be done on the SPY. Oh, yeah, it looks like a possible gap fill down to 56.60 would be in the play this week if he starts talking crazy about tariffs. If we break 58.41, that's the entry to the downside. Now, if we break, and please pay attention to this, you definitely want to go into puts or short the market with VXX or SQQQ. If we break 5,800 on the SPX, that's the 200-day moving average, we're going to get a good drop. If we break, it's actually 57.97. If we break that, we'll probably clear this wick and we'll probably come down to 56.60. From there, we should get a bounce. But hopefully, oh, and look at this. I'm just noticing this. One more, we're forming an M pattern. Just saw that. So be ready for anything, but I see an M pattern in the chart now that I'm looking, forming. I know y'all can see it, but it's here, here, and it brings us here, and there's a gap there. Can y'all see that?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so be prepared for 5660 if he keeps talking crazy. That looks like we'll fill that gap and we'll probably bounce and go back up. So that's all I got for tonight. But keep your eye open. Please have down 5841. Cheat code is letting us know that if we break that, we're going down. So I'm glad we took another look before we got off to see what the market was doing. But yeah, just be aware of that. It could go either way. And a lot of it's going to depend on what the president says. All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Looking for also Oklahoma to sweep Indiana. Clean break. No losses. No losses. So we'll see. But that's all I got. Nobody has any other questions. Just play what you see in front of you, but it could go either way with these tariffs. But I'm looking for upside on NVIDIA and Palantir.
I appreciate you, Anthony.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Anthony. Not at all.
All right,
take care now.